Welcome to Louisville This Week. I'm John Ramsey, Director of City Partnerships. On today's show, we'll hear how the mayor and several Metro Council members paid tribute to the memory of Martin Luther King Jr. this past holiday. We'll also visit a new salon that has just opened in the Limerick neighborhood, and we'll learn how Louisville Metro Safe is using the 911 Mental Health Deflection Program to help citizens in need. But first, the annual Keepers of the Dream ceremony was held at the Kentucky Center for the Arts on Sunday. This year's event highlighted Black Joy and had performances from several community organizations. Governor Andy Beshear kicked off the event, and Mayor Craig Greenberg presented this year's Freedom Awards to Carol Jones Clay and Senator Gerald Neal.
It is especially wonderful to be here tonight because we're living in a world, as we all know right now, a world where so many people, so many organizations are trying their best to divide us, are spewing so much hate and division on a daily basis. And as the governor talked about, we need to do a better job every day of finding things that unite us, that bring us together. And the arts are one powerful way that we can join together, that we all can continue to live every day inspired by the words and legacy of Dr. King, to work with each other, to have a city, a country in which we fight against racism, we fight against discrimination of all kinds, we fight against anti-Semitism. We work to support on things that unite us, bring us together, and show our love to one another. And the arts is a powerful way to do that. And so we are excited to be here to celebrate the arts and unity in the arts together. As mayor, it is a great honor to be able to award Carol Jones Clay and Senator Gerald Neal the Keeper of the Dream Freedom Award for all they have done to strengthen our community and brighten the lives of the people who know them. So I believe so many of you know both Carol and Senator Neal, but let me tell you a little bit more about each of them. Carol Jones Clay is someone who I've known for about 20 years, and it is such a wonderful to be able to recognize her in this fashion. She is one of those people that all of us know, someone who quietly works to make things happen. She doesn't seek out the glory despite being so deserving of it. She has supported so many causes and has done so much work to make our city better for others. Carol holds the position right now of Senior Vice President and Managing Director of Community Relations for Republic Bank and Trust Company, and is the president of the Republic Bank and Trust Foundation that started since February 2020. Carol oversees all of the bank's community relations, philanthropy efforts, and manages their special events department. In her community involvement, Carol demonstrates her commitment to civic engagement through her work with the Louisville Downtown Partnership and the University of Louisville Depression Center Advisory Council. She's also active on so many other boards across our city, including the Kentucky Derby Festival and the Louisville Fund for the Arts. Her extensive involvement reflects a deep commitment to the well-being and cultural richness of our city. And she's already been recognized for some of this work, as last year she was the 2023 WLKY Spirit of Louisville Foundation and Churchill Downs John Asher Spirit Award. Unfortunately tonight, she and her husband Ken are a little bit under the weather, as the governor mentioned, but the two of them have worked so hard for so long for our community, and so we'll be honoring them in a second that I'll talk about, but it's wonderful to give this award to Carol Jones Clay. Let's give a quick round of applause for Carol. Our other honoree tonight is Kentucky State Senator Gerald Neal. Senator Neal represents District 33 right here in Louisville and is the second African American to serve in the Kentucky State Senate. And that's right, let's hear it for that. In 2022, he was elected leader of the Kentucky Senate Democratic Caucus. He's a senior fellow of public policy and adjunct professor at the University of Louisville, where he teaches courses in history, state and local government, and civil rights and the law. Senator Neal is also a practicing attorney with the law firm of Gerald A. Neal and Associates. Throughout his long career in public service, he's been a dedicated advocate for education. Senator Neal founded the Kentucky African American All Children's Caucus, addressing issues of educational diversity and promoting high educational standards. He also established the African American Community Agenda Initiative, focusing on policy research, development, and community education. Senator Neal has also received numerous honors, including induction into the Kentucky Civil Rights Hall of Fame, the Gallery of Great Black Kentuckians, and the National Bar Association Hall of Fame. Additionally, Senator Neal has been an advocate for issues such as equal educational opportunities, health care coverage for children, criminal justice reform, and minority representation on various platforms. He's been serving his constituents in Frankfort since 1989, and as you just heard the governor talk about, he is still going strong, fighting for the people of District 33 here in Louisville, fighting for our entire city, and fighting for the people of the Commonwealth. He has been a great friend of mine for so many years. He's someone who I often turn to for advice and for input and counsel, and I'm so excited that he is willing and interested and excited and energized about continuing to serve our city and our state. These two inspiring Louisvillians show us how we can work to live up to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And that's why it's such a great honor to be able to present the Keeper of the Dream Freedom Award to both Carol Jones Clay and Senator Gerald Neal.
Although Aunt Carol couldn't be in attendance today, she's honored to accept this award, and I'm honored to accept it on her behalf. Aunt Carol would like to, of course, humbly give thanks first and foremost to God for letting a little black Catholic girl from Smoketown defy the odds and live Dr. King's dream. She would like to thank her family, of course, my Uncle Ken, her friends and supporters who've always given her the most support with love and prayers over the years. Of course, Mayor Greenberg and his administration for bestowing this honor on her and their support of our community as well. Thank you. Thank you as well to Kentucky Performing Arts for your continued and consistent support for this event over the years. And thank you for the work that you're doing to continue to be inclusive to everyone in our community. Aunt Carol is so proud to accept this wonderful award on behalf of Republic Bank as the president of the Republic Bank Foundation. Of course, a big thank you goes out to Republic Bank and the Traeger family as well, as they've given her every opportunity over the years to give back to the community that she's grown up in and loves so dearly. Those of you who know her know that Aunt Carol is Smoketown proud through and through. And she's told me several stories about her and her family as she grew up over the years. She wanted to give a special shout out and thanks to an organization called the Jewish Federation of Women that were always there for her and her family when it was tough to make ends meet, especially during the holiday seasons. And I must say, from my point of view, Aunt Carol has always been a dear role model and champion of mine. I think she would also say that a role model of hers was my late grandmother, Juanita Burks. And my grandmother would say, in life, you have to have 3 Ds. You have to have a dream, you have to be devoted, and you have to be dedicated to your dream. I'm proud to say that Aunt Carol and Senator Neal are most deserving of this award as they've lived their life embodying the 3 Ds. The last message I want to leave you all with today is specifically for the youth in the room and of our city. I know it's easier said than done, but please embrace positivity in any way you can in your lives. You are the future, and there are so many bright opportunities out there, although you may not see them right now. Thank you again to everyone. on behalf of Aunt Carol, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
So hello, Louisville. Oh no, hello, Louisville. All right, all right. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really excited, and I'm not going to say much because most of it's been said. I do want to thank the governor. Mayor, let me start with the governor for his expression here today. The way he did that, I did not expect that, and I just want to let him know that it's deeply appreciated. His recognition and his support. I want to first thank and express my gratitude to Mayor Greenberg for acknowledging my work and my accomplishments, and particularly in this fashion. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much for your sacrifice and your leadership. I look forward to working with you into the future. I also want to congratulate Carol Jones Clay, my longtime friend, and I mean a longtime friend, and a champion of so many initiatives that it would take so long to go over them in this setting, but truly a champion. Congratulations, Carol. Congratulations. I accept this award knowing that this is a symbol of the great work that was accomplished by those before me, those of you that toil in the vineyard each and every day now, and those that are yet to come with impactful, meaningful gains that uplift all of us as a community of need and goodwill on multiple levels. This is an opportunity for each of us on the eve of this MLK holiday to ask ourselves, what does it all really mean to you? All of us have an answer because this is really not about you or me individually, but it's all about us. I look forward to continuing this journey with you, a journey that brings us hope and possibilities, as opposed to division and negativity. For we all know that it is about what we can do together and not what weakens us by division. Again, I want to thank you, Mayor Greenberg. I want to thank you for the great work that you're doing in the city of Louisville. I want to thank our governor, Governor Andy Beshear. He's not only the governor of Kentucky and Louisville and all therein, but he's also respected on the national stage. So that bodes well for us here in Kentucky as well. Don't you agree? So again, thank all of you. Thank you for coming out in this cold, cold weather. Thank you for all that you do, big and small. Thank you for the journey that we will continue on and what we will do together. God bless you all and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
The first Freedom Award was presented to Lyman T. Johnson in 1988.
My name is Antonio Butler, and I'm a sanitation tipper. It's a very physical job. You will have to be energized and bring your A game every day. Once I learned how to tip and got better at it, that's what I love to do. Help the residents out and getting rid of their trash, their yard waste, and they recycle. You know, it's a good feeling. Very intense job, but you know, I love it. I've been here 3 years. You know, I don't see myself going nowhere. It's great.
Mayor Craig Greenberg, Deputy Mayor David James, and members of the Metro Council had a chance to see firsthand what the men and women of the Louisville Fire Department go through during a training session at the fire department's recently completed Fire Training Center.
I've been looking forward to this.
Chief O'Neill invited the mayor, the deputy mayor, and members of Metro Council out to kind of do a simulation training of like what firefighters go through on a daily basis when we make these emergency runs throughout the city.
4 districts. We are a city fire department. These are all fire protection districts, but it's all based on property value.
Come on in, we're gonna get started here.
Thank you very much for coming out today. We do want you to think about our firefighters that are out there because when it is 0 degrees, they're still going to be out there. This is about what we've been dealing with for the last month. Fact is, we don't respond just when it's 70 degrees outside. We respond no matter what. Something you can think about for all of your constituents is that whether it's 0 degrees or 100 degrees or anything else, or it's storming, if they call 911, we're going to come, we're going to show up, we're going to help them with their emergency. Let's go ahead, we'll head out to the sheds.
We're gonna go through a shoe store, a clothing store, a hat store. So just start here.
We're going to get you guys into some fire gear.
All of our new gear has this zipper and then the Velcro.
Pretty simple, but you just want to make sure you get the layers in the right order
This part you want on the outside? Correct.
so that you've got everything on properly.
For them to like, kind of get a hands-on experience of like what we go through and what it takes to kind of do that job in a simulated, safe environment is still pretty tough.
They're under my purview of offices or departments, and so I wanted to come out with everybody and have some team building and have a good time.
We're here to walk you through just to give you a little taste of some of the things that we do.
There we go.
Quick little tour of our new facility.
Capital project that we got, this is tremendous.
Many, many thanks to all of you, because that's why we have it now.
You see the concrete pad around here, the pavement, the nice new hydrant, so it's got a full system. We can treat this like a large incident. Just kind of give you a quick little tour, and then we'll do some training. Come on.
You'll see all the burn rooms are labeled. These things you see on the ceiling and one on the wall, they're temperature sensors, so we can only get this building so hot before we start deteriorating the heat panels.
Do you know what the material of those heat panels is?
Paginite. We can use the smoke machine because when we do have a fire, the types of construction that we have around the city, a lot of the fire ends up in the attic. You have to season each of the burn rooms. You have to take them up to certain temperatures, so you have 3 different phases. See these red panels? They're strike plates. They're just so we don't tear the building up when we throw our ladders up against the building.
We can get many companies down to surround this building. We've got props so we can work on the roofs. We can get through here. We've got several rooms here.
This is an incredible new facility. I'm so proud that Louisville Fire Department has it. There are lots of different real-life experiences that folks that are training to become Louisville Fire Department members can experience here.
Glad we've got a way to have the best trained firefighters, hopefully in the country, and that we can make sure that we're funding facilities for folks to get that training.
Many people know what we do from just the fire department being around for years and years and years now. And a lot of that stuff is through movies, through TV, or just seeing us out and about in the city. And this is a way for this small group of people to kind of understand how taxing our job can be at times.
When you go to the roof, you take a few different tools with you, but 2 of the ones you take are a chainsaw, and you take an axe or a sledgehammer with you. We just have some tires out, sledgehammers. Grab you one, pick it up. It will bounce back, so just be ready for that.
The reason we take an axe is a lot of times the saws won't run due to the amount of smoke.
The reason why we cut a roof open, the members that we have on the inside, it gives them a better environment to work in. It removes the heat, it removes the toxic smoke and toxic atmosphere out of the room.
Mine, you're on an angled surface and it's on fire.
And it has to be done carefully in concert with the people that are going in on the attack line.
It is not a half a dozen or even a dozen swings of this tool that's going to get a roof open. A lot. 100, yeah. You will take turns.
Whether that's doing a ride along with a police officer, coming out here and doing a mock simulation of a fire, or even going and working a trash route. I think it's really important for us to understand how city government is working, not only from the top level, also at the bottom level, to make sure that we're providing accurate training.
Maybe they weren't home and everything's locked up.
Locked door.
Yep.
And then also good working conditions as well for those who are not trainees anymore.
We got all this on, we've got to get our tools, and then we start to work.
Oh, that's how they're doing it.
Before they even lean it or drop it, they've got to extend it fully.
Does anybody want to try to raise that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So we can sit it there, have 2 people hold it, and you guys can try to do.
Okay, that'd be great.
It's a little heavier pulling it up that way than it is picking it up.
Put there, put it on the shoulder, inside the rungs. So you need to be able to work off the ladder, lean over, clear the window so everything falls down next to you and not on top of you.
And then you guys climbing in.
And then we'll climb in from the side.
So how many trucks do we have that just carry ladders?
Really, we have 5. The engine has water and hose. A Quint has all of it.
That's an engine right here.
And this is a...
This is a truck.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the other side of this truck and get to try the big aerial ladder.
Face piece goes on. Pull your bottom straps, and you want this tight.
I think it's just been really like eye-opening.
All right, here we go.
Rescuing somebody in a burning building, going through that confusion. It's dark, it's smoky. You're trying to find somebody and then drag them out.
2 firefighters here. Okay. We gotta get him out. So we gotta work together. We want to try to pull him around to go back down those stairs.
What are the functional parts of me that I can use right now to be most effective?
1, 2, 3.
There we go. That was incredibly interesting.
Incredibly physically demanding.
Incredibly difficult also.
This is in a controlled environment with nothing in the room. One can't imagine when you're in the real world what that must be like.
Y'all did a good job in there. It's tough work sometimes.
You did a good job. We'd have been lost.
For us to shed just a little light into that for them is really a valuable tool that they can take as leaders of our community and sow back into our community.
Started with respect, ending with even more respect.
You know, I'm beat. And to think that they go through this day in and day out, it's a testament to their strength and character.
It takes brave, strong people to do this, and I'm just so thankful.
This is fun. See you later.
Awesome work, everybody. Very good work.
For what they do for us every day.
So what does Louisville's economic future look like? And how does it tie in with Kentucky's success as a Commonwealth? That was the topic at this month's Louisville Forum. Secretary of the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, Jeff Noel, and Louisville Deputy Mayor for the Louisville Metro Cabinet for Economic Development, Pat Malloy, discussed how to grow a thriving economy.
There are 4 pillars that drive this economic plan. Quality of place. We got to sell what we have physically in this town. Education and skills. This is everything from JCPS to the academies to University of Louisville's ranked 1 position, becoming a world-class university, access to capital, which I've talked about, and telling our story.
You can watch the full Louisville Forum program right here on Metro TV Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock.
Dominique Whitaker, I'm an equipment operator for Louisville Metro. We just basically go up and down the alleys doing cutbacks so that the garbage trucks can get through, picking up junk, trash, just maintaining the alley and keeping them clean. But I do also get out and help my laborers. If it's a big old pile, I might work the handles or I might get a broom. So I'm not just stationed to the truck. I get out and do other stuff as well. Just a positive attitude. Of course, the CDL. Just the drive to do it. I'm just here to better myself, that's it. Started in Metro Parks. Then I came in as a transfer to Public Work as a pack labor CDL. Then I got upgraded to equipment operator, so I've been in 3 positions in 7-8 months. I'm here to build, so just want to move up, see as far as I can get as many skills as I can get, expand my horizons. It's a really good job, easy, good pay. You just got to have the determination, ambition to do it. If you're looking for a consistent job, stable, come out and do it, apply.
Mayor Greenberg commemorated Martin Luther King Day by attending the Alpha Lambda Education Foundation Hope Breakfast.
Great job, Congressman Garvey. Thank you very much. And it is wonderful. Rachel and I are so thrilled to be with everyone here this morning. And it is always wonderful when you brave the cold weather and then you're welcomed by all of the bright, shining, amazing colors of the Divine Nine. We are thrilled to be with you here this morning. And thank you so much to the Alpha Lambda Education Foundation for your incredible work in supporting young people in our community, not just today with this important event, but every day, and especially for your work to support and encourage Black men throughout our community. You all are making a difference, and our administration looks forward to partnering with you in the months and years ahead to continue to make a positive impact on our community. We are joined today by some other amazing public servants. We've got our deputy mayor and former award winner from this breakfast, Barbara Sexton Smith, whose birthday it is today. Our amazing chief of police, Jackie Gwynn Villaroel, and also some of our close partners on Metro Council, Councilman Philip Baker, Councilwoman Donna Purvis are here. Representative Keturah Herron, who's fighting the good fight in Frankfurt for us all. And And our relatively new Commonwealth attorney, Jarena Weathers, is also here. And I may have run the risk of missing some folks. If I missed any elected officials, my apologies. I did not see you before this started, but welcome. And I want to give one final shout out to a good friend who you're going to hear from more later, who, along with Carol Jones Clay, I had the honor of giving the Martin Luther King Keeper of the Dream Freedom Award to last night, an amazing public servant who's done great things for his district here in Louisville, for our entire city, for our entire state and country, Senator Gerald Neal. Congratulations on the award, and thank you for your service. As I've been reflecting back on the life and legacy of Dr. King, I've thought about the progress that we've made, the amazing contributions that these public servants who I just mentioned, most of whom are black, are making right now for our city and our state. And how during Dr. King's time, that was not the case. To have a black woman as our city's police chief, to have Senator Neal in his position, leading the minority caucus in the entire state of Kentucky's Senate. And you think about that great progress, it's impossible to also not think about the frustration that we have still not gone far enough. That we are living in a divided world today, maybe as much as ever before. A world where there are people and organizations that every day do so much to try to divide us through words, through action, through social media, through any way possible to create division. As mayor, I want to bring us together. Regardless of your race, regardless of the circumstances of life that you were born into, we all have so much more in common than we do apart. We all want great educations for our kids. We all want everyone in our city to live a safer life. We all want to have a good paying career path job. We all want everyone that we love and care about to have a quality, affordable home. But for some reason, not everybody wants to bring us together. And so as we think about channeling the life and legacy of Dr. King, not just today on MLK Day, but every day, for those of us in public service, for everyone in every way that you live their life, let's focus on what we can do to bring us together. There have been some great examples of that already this weekend. On Saturday night, the Louisville Orchestra and St. Stephen's Choir brought us together through some amazing music. Last night at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts, wonderful artists performed to again bring us together. And as I just mentioned, it's not just the arts, but really we all want the same things in life. So I hope that over the coming days, months, and weeks, we can all work together with many others throughout our city to bring us together in many, many ways, to overcome the divides that still exist. And when we talk about making progress, it's not just lip service. So that when we are making investments as a city in neighborhoods and people that have been overlooked for our entire lifetime, it's not just making an investment and checking the box, but it's making an investment and making world-class investments. For example, we just saw a great new park open in our city, the Alberta Jones Park in the California neighborhood. That's right. In memory of an amazing trailblazing woman, Alberta Jones. That is not just a park in the California neighborhood, a neighborhood that needs more than just a park. But that is one of the best parks in our entire city. That's what the California neighborhood deserves. And when we break ground on the new Algonquin pool in just a few weeks, it's not just a slight renovation. That's right. It's not just a slight renovation of the pool, but we are going to build the best pool in the entire city in Algonquin Park, because that's what Algonquin deserves. And so I look forward to you not just making investments in neighborhoods and people that have been overlooked, not just since Dr. Martin Luther King's time, but for all time. But I look forward to making world-class investments across this entire city with you all to continue to work together to make our city more equitable, more fair, to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to succeed regardless of what circumstances of life he or she was born into. And together, it is my honor to be your mayor, to keep working to build a safer, stronger, and healthier Louisville. Thank you all very much.
Deputy Mayor Barbara Sexton Smith and Metro Council members Philip Baker and Shamika Parrish Wright spoke at the Martin Luther King Day celebration at Solomon Missionary Baptist Church.
Thank you. All right, well, afternoon, church, and last night my phone rang. It was late. It was after I got home with my beloved Lacey T. Smith. Everybody say more. Hi, Lacey. And on the other end of that phone, it was Mayor Craig Greenberg, and he was so solemn, and he said, I need you. I need you to step up and represent me tomorrow. And I said, yes, sir. Because my mama raised me to show respect to those who are leading the way. And I said, what would you like me to do? He said, I've already spoken with Reverend Charles Elliott Jr. He knows you're coming to bring, my instructions, Rev, were to bring 4 minutes and answer the question, where do we go from here? And then the mayor sends a text and says, here's the speech that was written for me to give. Not that you need it, but in case you do. So I'm not going to talk about all the things that the city is doing. We're doing a lot on behalf of 5,800 people who work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing the services all across this city. I'm going to answer the question, where do we go from here? I got 4 things to leave with you today, my brothers and sisters. Here's where I think we go from here. First, we must know who came before us and never forget. Second, we must know our history, tell our history, teach our history, all of it completely and accurately. And when we do that, we will live out knowledge bears responsibility. The third thing that we must do as representative of Mayor Greenberg and carrying his torch of his legacy, which he's going to serve his 4-year term to do, that is make education the key, the first thing, equitable, accessible for all, not a few, for all. And fourth, brothers and sisters, are y'all ready for some common sense solutions to complex challenges? I'm talking about gun sense, not just in America. I want gun sense in Kentucky. Senator Neal, can we count on you to lead the way in Frankfort to get some gun sense in Kentucky? Yes, we can. I know we can. So there we go. Together, we're gonna be in unity. Unity. And we're going to do what that great book taught us to do. That great book said, fear not, love one another. Where there is darkness, the door will open and the light will come. Those are the 4 things I think we need to do. So now, what I have to say to you, my brothers and sisters, is that on January 15th of 1929, January 15th of 1929, a little black boy was born in Georgia. His name was Michael King, and he went on to become Martin Luther King. We have to know who came before us. But then, that didn't wake us up, America. The birth of that little black boy didn't wake us up. It wasn't until October of 1929 that the stock market crashed. That shook us up, that woke us up, and then go with me on a very short journey. In 1955, a black girl, a black woman, had the audacity to sit down on a seat, and Martin Luther King decided to lead some boycotts. Lord have mercy. 1957, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference was formed, and he was named the first president. Not so fast. One other thing happened in 1957. January 15th in 1957, I was born. I was born the first child outside of a coal camp where my mother was orphaned. Yes, she was. And then go on, 63, he stood on the steps. And it was another person we have to remember, Mahalia Jackson. Had it not been for her, we'd never have. I have a dream. She coached him. She led him. 64, we had civil rights. 65, voting rights. 68, Fair Housing Act. I could go on and on. I'm going to take my seat because let me say, brothers and sisters, it wasn't April 4th where the darkness came, when the bullet rang out in front of the Lorraine Hotel. It was on February 1st of 1968. It was pouring rain in Memphis, Tennessee, and there were two men, Echo Cole and Robert Walker, hanging on the back of the garbage truck, picking up trash that people were throwing. They sought refuge and shelter in a building because they were born black in America. They could not seek shelter in that building, so they grabbed onto the truck and hopped in the compactor compartment. We know the history. Then they were killed. Then there it was. March 29th, ASME, Local 1733, Todd Dunn, that led that strike, my brother. And then it was March 29th of that same year, Martin Luther King landed in Memphis, Tennessee. But on April 4th, it all came to a screeching halt, or did it? Because he was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel. And one more person, we got to remember who brought us where we are. Got to remember who brought you to the dance. It was a musician. And Martin Luther King said, "Ben, play me Precious Lord." That's what we need to play today, Rev. Precious Lord, and play it real pretty. So Martin Luther King passed. He died so we could live. Rev, thank you for the honor and the privilege and pleasure of being with you today. I love you today and I love you tomorrow. Thank you. Amen.
Look, when Reverend Elliott tell you to get up, you get up. First giving out the guy who's ahead of my life, to Reverend Elliott, both Reverend Elliott's, to Bishop Lyons, and to every minister, deacon, elected official, and to all you all. I love these services because they are nothing but a booster shot. Follow me. Services like this is where we come together and we reflect on the joy and the greatness that we come from. We get that booster shot to redirect what keeps the main thing, the main thing. And the main thing is simply this. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yeah, boy.
Both my grandfathers joined the military, signing their names with an X.
Yeah, baby.
And they get to look down and see their son, Philip Baker, serve as a Louisville District 6 Metro Councilman. But I'm a firm believer that it's not about me. It's about people be what they see. It's time to let our kids grow. It's time for us to take your booster start and take the charge with you. That this is serious business, y'all. We are the only line of defense against those who hate, based on your gender, who you love, what you make, what you look like. So I ask you to do the same. Take the booster shot today. And when you get home, know that we all here to serve. I'm humbled to be here to speak in front of you all. Thank you, Dr. Elliott, for everything that you do. I wear a size 14, and they're still not big enough to fit in those shoes that you laid. But I ask that heaven smile upon each and every one of you all. But know that it's going to take every single one of us. And know you are your ancestors' wildest dream. Thank you all.
Hold it. Thank you as the Grand Marshal, being such a great, wonderful leader. This is given to you from who?
From who?
From the Reverend Charles Elliott.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank each and every one of you all for this word means so much. Thank you all.
I had my speech written, but there's no time. I do want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you, Pastor Elliott and his son. It has been an experience. I want to introduce an amazing pastor that I come to know through former state representative Attica Scott. Pastor Miles and his church Greater Friendship are real people. So I'm excited, and I've been holding it and just to hear him. So before he comes up, we're gonna have break this up and have some song. And I encourage you all to stay involved, stay invited, and know that we feel you, okay? Thank you.
New businesses are opening all over Louisville, and Metro TV was on hand for the grand opening and the ribbon cutting of Blitz Salon and Spa Suites on 7th Street in the Limerick neighborhood.
3. It's official. We can all get our hair done now.
One of the things we talked about is about making sure we have clean, safe, and vibrant neighborhoods. And nothing's more vibrant than making sure that we have our hair and nails done right here on the corner of 7th and Oak for the Blitz Salon and Spa. To have small businesses in our neighborhoods, economically, when small businesses do well, the whole city does well.
You guys put $800,000 of economic investment into the Limerick neighborhood.
Yes.
That's truly incredible. And how many jobs do you think that you've created here?
Well, we hope to create between 16 and 24. We have 16 suites, and some of those suites can be doubled or tripled. We will have anything to do with beauty, so massages, estheticians, braiders, hairstylists, nail artists, makeup artists, lashes, you name it, we hope to get it.
So Mayor Greenberg is such an engaging and personal individual, and he really does get to all areas of Jefferson County and knows the folks in all of our neighborhoods. Phil, he sent me with this letter. It says, "Dear Phil, I want to reach out and congratulate you and your granddaughter, all right, on the grand opening of Blitz Salon and Spa. I understand she's the first-time business owner, and I can only imagine how proud you are of her accomplishments. Opening your first business, even as a partner, is a difficult endeavor. We are fortunate to have motivated and driven young people in our community willing to put themselves out there and become entrepreneurs. Thank you for all you do in Metro government, because Phil is with a partner with us in Metro Louisville. And congratulations again to you and your family during this exciting time. Thank you for your service at Metro Louisville."
So, congratulations. I heard that you're the very first tenant here at Blitz Salon and Spa Suites.
Yes, ma'am.
And so are you a licensed cosmetologist or are you a nail tech? Like what?
I'm only a nail technician right now.
Okay. So did you go to school here in Louisville?
Yes, I attended Nailcella Academy, the new school that was opened up in 2021. I love that in order to get in here in this building, I had to open up an LLC. I had to own my own name. I had to own my own salon. And so anywhere else, they wouldn't have helped me with that. Thanks to Miss Sharika, she definitely helped me with everything I needed to get done.
My name is Jalen. I am a packer labor. I work in alley action. I cut down trees and collect tires. Basically just maintain the alleyways and clean up the alleyways. And we come downtown and dump garbage cans in the trash. Make sure those is not overflowed. Always have your safety glasses on and always be considerate of looking out for the other drivers and guiding your leader drivers. I'm very athletic, very fast, quick on my toes, quick with my hands. You care about your neighborhood and care about the people around you. It's part of caring for your city. It's a lot of things you can learn. I love working with Louisville Metro, and it was the best for me.
Mayor Greenberg was on hand for the ribbon cutting of the first Publix grocery store in Louisville. The new store is expected to create 150 jobs. The 55,000 square foot store is located at 2500 Terra Crossing Boulevard in East Louisville, and it features a drive-through pharmacy and the first Publix liquor store outside of Florida.
3, 2, 1.
This is a great day for Louisville. I know it's a great day for people in this part of our city. Excited to cut the ribbon, excited to let everyone begin to have this great Publix experience. Welcome to Louisville.
Thank you so much.
Future Publix stores are planned on Flat Rock and Shelbyville Roads and Ballardsville and Brownsboro Roads. The Louisville Asset Building Coalition's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program prepares federal and state income tax forms for eligible residents for free. The deadline to volunteer for this program is quickly approaching.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the celebration. Superheroes are here to save the taxpayers some hard-earned money.
Oh, this is fun.
Get people signed up to volunteer to help us do free income taxes.
Superhero bingo, mix and mingle. This is where you can do your experience of greeting other people and getting to know your new co-workers and trying to pull people in to come and help. Get to know your site coordinators.
Some people say they pay as much as $380 to $500 to get their taxes prepared. And that's a lot when you're on limited resources.
My best friend has been doing it for a long time, and she asked me if I would come over and help out. So, I like working with people, and I think it'll be something good to do.
We're always in need of people to help us prepare taxes, greeters, whatever they want to do. We need help and volunteers. And we just want to help keep some of that hard-earned money in low to moderate families' pockets.
Brian Davis, I'm a Louisville Metro Public Works Inspector. We're putting in a new turn lane to reduce traffic from backing up and to allow easier access onto Chamberlain Lane.
Observe everything, make sure everything's going in per spec.
I ensure that we meet budget by finalizing quantities of materials used. Keeping the contractor honest, basically. A lot of times we run into lines that aren't buried at the correct depth. Right there's a traffic loop that controls the traffic signal. I had to contact electrical maintenance this morning.
We want to make sure, motors have a safe road and pedestrians have a safe way of travel.
Paving work, plan reading. If you're a good people person, if you can deal with people from all backgrounds, also just any kind of construction work would really help in this position.
Someone good with details and pays attention.
I find this job very gratifying and satisfying because I'm working with the public and I feel like I'm making a difference.
The Louisville Metro Safe Call Center has implemented a mental health deflection program, and the 8th District Councilman Ben Reno Weber sat down with Emergency Services Director Jody Myman to learn more about the program.
Every 911 call in Jefferson County comes to this location. We took over 1.3 million calls last year. Our 2 aisles here are all of our 911 call takers. Around the back of the room is all of our dispatchers. We dispatch fire and EMS for the entire county and all of LMPD. There is some secondary public safety answering points, J-Town, St. Matthews. Their calls still come here, but we transfer to them. So they dispatch theirs, but it goes just as quick as it would go across the room, it goes to them. So this is our deflection team here. We strategically put them between our call takers and our dispatchers because they could have access to both, to the point where sometimes they stand up and you don't need to communicate with them that way. So they're in the middle of the room. She's on a call now. In March of 22, we added our 911 mental health deflection program. It's worked very well. It's one of the more proud projects I've ever been on. If you'd have told me 30 years ago when I joined, started getting into public safety that I'd be involved in a project like that, I'd have probably disagreed with you, but that's the day and age that we're living in, and it's a project that was needed, and like I said, it just keeps getting better every single day. It takes a special person to come in and do this.
Director Myman, thank you so much for taking some time to be here with us today.
No problem.
Really excited to talk to you about this program that you have been working on, Deflection. But would you just start talking about what is deflection?
Yeah, so deflection is where we're taking a call, a 911 call for service that comes into our 911 center just on the other side of this wall. They triage those calls, and if it fits the criteria for some type of mental health problem, then they send it to our CTWs, or our crisis triage workers that are sitting in the 911 center, and instead of it going to the police or going to EMS, they can actually physically help them potentially with just a phone call, or they can send a mobile crisis responder out to visit them in the field.
So someone calls in and then those calls are deflected to a different unit, either here in the MetroSafe or in the field, or both.
Right, they start here. We've got behavioral health specialists, like I said, that are sitting right in the 911 center. They further triage that person. Many times they're able to get them the help they need just over the phone, so there doesn't even need to be a response. One example is we had a repeat caller. They would call 911 literally 300 or 400 times a day. Oh. And They got to the crisis triage worker, and it turned out that it was just a medication issue, and they were able to fix that, and the person doesn't call 911, anymore at all, which that ties up our 911 lines.
Oh, yeah.
When they're calling for, for no reason at all, or what they think may be a problem, which really isn't. So, that's just one example of how it's helped people.
So I definitely want to get into the history of it, but can you tell another example of it, maybe when it gets out into the field?
So there was an issue where there was a police officer that encountered someone having a mental health crisis. They were able to reverse the process, get the mobile crisis responder to respond to them out in the field. As they arrived on scene, obviously the police officer made sure that the person was safe to interact with. There was an armed robbery about a block away, and the officer was able to leave that and go to deal with the armed robbery, which was a successful interaction as well. But normally, or in past practices, they would have had to stay on site with that person having the mental health crisis, and maybe not been able to have a successful outcome on the criminal part of it. So, wow. There's so many different aspects of how it's been a successful program.
So you're really freeing up police resources by getting people better interactions.
Right. Before, the option was to either go to the hospital or to go to jail, depending on what the circumstances were. And now the people are truly being able to talk to mental health, behavioral health specialists, and the police have a crisis intervention team that's great, and they're trained very well, and they know what they need to do to interact with people in a mental health crisis. So that actually took place before we started the Deflection Program. We just integrated those together. So we've had Pam Oberhausen with the police department. She's been great, and she was a part of our team that helped develop the process. She's over their CIT program.
Well, great. So talk a little bit about how this program started here in Louisville.
It was 2 days before the budget was due. We were told that there was going to be an extra couple $1 million put in our budget. So it was like, all right. And it was like, but this is what it's going to be for. So, I'd heard about programs like that. But, being in the 911 world, it was a very up and coming type of process. In the very beginning stages, there were some cities across the United States that had projects like this. So it was a matter of, there was a group together to develop a pilot program. Our Deputy Director, Kelly Jones, and I started to join that group. There were several people from around the city that was in that. We visited other cities throughout the United States, Austin, Texas being one of them. That's a great model. They welcomed us with open arms. They showed us their process on both the 911 as well as the mental health side of it. So, it was really that program that we somewhat saw that we wanted to inherit and start to develop and piggyback on what they were doing there. So it's got some different things. Obviously, we've got some dynamics here that they don't have, or vice versa. And we're actually doing some things here. They came and visited our center.
Oh, really?
We had a national conference that was here last summer, and they actually came to visit and picked up some of the things that we had done different than they did, and took back to to do some of those things. Simple things like, we issue our mobile crisis responders a radio, where if they get in trouble, they have the ability to get into our 911 center and immediately ask for help. So that's something that, not many centers or not many of the programs were doing. So, we're continuing to get better. I mean, we still look at best practices. We're in groups that meet quarterly throughout the United States, and just looking at best practices and what's going on.
So what are the criteria that when a call comes into 911 that gets them put into this program?
It's more the criteria of what won't let them get into that. Okay. So it's, if they have a weapon, if they're in possession of a weapon, if they have taken any type of drugs or alcohol that require some type of medical attention, if they have some other type of medical issue that they need medical attention, which can still be diverted over. Eventually, once they're cleared by the medical piece of it, they could be handed over to the deflection team.
But medical's separate from a mental health
It is,
issue.
right.
Okay.
So,
right.
but if they're
injured,
they would fit the criteria for a mental health, but they had just had a seizure,
okay.
or they're going through some type of diabetic emergency. Those things have to be taken care of first.
Okay.
If somebody's threatening themselves or others, that would not meet the criteria. So if somebody calls in and that's one of the first questions, those are the first questions that they ask. If that doesn't meet that, then they send it over to the crisis triage worker, just sitting across the room in the 911 center.
So can I call in for someone else?
So there's first party and second party callers. So you can call in with somebody, or you can call in for yourself if you're having a mental health crisis, or you can call in somebody that you're physically with.
Okay.
And that meets the criteria. What we call third-party callers is where you're driving down the road, you may witness someone that's having some type of mental health issue, but you don't know if they don't have any weapons or they've been under influence of alcohol or drugs. That would require co-response. So they could still end up getting to the deflection team, but a police response would go first just to make sure that scene's safe for the people to approach.
So you said co-response. Can you talk a little about what that is?
So it's where the police are dispatched along with the mobile crisis responders, or potentially instead of the mobile crisis responders, like I said, if it doesn't meet that criteria, if they have a weapon, they're threatening themselves or others, they send the police to make sure that scene's safe, they don't have any weapons, and then they can backtrack and call that mobile crisis responder over to the scene to relieve them so they can get back to doing more criminal acts.
So can you talk a little bit about some of the, what's happened as this program has evolved? You mentioned when we were talking earlier about where people get transported, what percentage of people do get transported, some of that information.
So we've taken over 800 calls inside the 911 center, and it's had about a 90% success rate overall. There's just some people that want to talk to the police. And that's not a bad thing, but if you want to talk to the police, you should be able to talk to the police. So about 10% of the people, they want the police to come and respond to see if they can help them in any way. Out of the 800, over 500 responses in the mobile crisis response field, and over 250 of those have been transported to facilities throughout the area to get them the proper help that they need.
The ones that are not with the mobile crisis response team, what happens there?
We're able to resolve a lot of them on the phone, just get them the help they need. And what's good about what we've done is we contracted 7 county services, which has been a great partner in this entire project from the beginning. We went back and forth about, okay, should we hire people that are Metro employees, or should we let a contractor hire people that are theirs? And the biggest thing that pushed us into letting 7 county services, our contractor, hire those people, is because now they've got access to any history that the people have had.
Right.
Where if they were Metro employees, we would not be able to do that. Right. So, they're able to potentially get them connected with help that they may have had in the past,
okay,
or divert them from help that they may have had in the past that didn't work for them.
Got it.
That's been a great partnership, and they're able to view all that where we wouldn't have been able to do it.
So there's calls that things get resolved on the phone, they get connected to treatment, or they get to talk to somebody, and then mobile crisis response goes out. And then can you just talk a little bit about?
So they do the mobile crisis response. If they're not able to be helped on the phone, they go out and make a visit, see exactly what needs they may have. It could be someone that's living on the street that may need to be put into some type of care.
Sure.
In a facility throughout the area. So they transport them there, get them the help they need, and potentially get them into some kind of program.
And where are the places that they're getting transported to?
So it's Our Lady of Peace. It's wellness centers throughout. Healing Place, is another big one that we transport people to. So it's, like I said, it's facilities, and 7 County has several facilities that they transport to as well. They have a respite center that's set up that they can take people to as well and monitor them and potentially get them the help that they need.
But just for clarity, they are not going to jail, and they're not going to the hospitals.
They're not, unless they truly need that, and then they call EMS, back if they find that they've got some kind of medical problem. They'll call EMS and transport them to the hospital. Okay. But it's not in a mental health capacity. It's whatever medical needs that they may have.
So what are some of the lessons that you've learned?
We wanted to start slow, which we did. We started in 1 police division, the 4th police division.
Which is where?
In the old Louisville area.
Okay.
Because the data told us that was the area that we had the most mental health calls in the past. And then we tracked 2 things. We tracked, obviously, the calls that were coming in to the other 7 police divisions that would have met the actual criteria. So we called it deflection not available. So that pointed us in the direction of where we needed to go to next. We knew we could keep up with the call volume. We would expand another division and expand another division. So now we're in 12-hour shifts instead of 8 hours where we started at. Our next goal, we may expand 2 hours on either end of that and maybe go 8 in the morning till midnight, or wherever that data is pointing us at, that's where we're going to go next.
So I know a lot of community members are eager to have this kind of response. Are you ready for us to be talking to community about expanding?
Eventually we'll get to that, but we don't want to give people false hope as far as if they live in a certain area outside of like LMPD right now, you may not be able to get that help. So, we're expanding slow. We're going into those other public safety answering points area, our smaller police cities, J-Town, St. Matthews, potentially Shively, University of Louisville, and Anchorage. some of our other ones, and then the next step after that will be countywide.
And I know that there's something similar working on a state level. How does this integrate with that?
You know, we're watching that closely. There's not a lot of other programs like this in the state, so hopefully they're using us as a model.
Great. Well, Director, thank you for your time.
No problem, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Louisville This Week. Have a wonderful day.